What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another video, and the time it's gonna be around the faction abyss in order to have a look to the different teams you can use in all different factions in order to push the content and get AhkTaar. You are gonna see that there are some factions on which you can use different heroes, but mainly in some specific factions you have one specific team, and if you don't have the right heroes, then it's gonna be hard to push the content to get AhkTaar copies. Okay, so before jumping into each faction, I have to say something really important. If you want to push higher in the faction here, you have to focus on some specific sets that you're going to switch between your heroes. For example, if I show you my heroes, I use the set I have on my space with a lot of speed. This is my fastest speed set. I have some mythic gear today here. These two are really important. If you want to outspeed the final boss, then you are going to need some mythic gear here. It's really important. The fastest you are with your strongest support, the better, because if you can provide some burst before the boss play, then you are gonna be safer. Second set, I used that one that I have on my Nicholas with a huge amount of effect hit. I used that on other heroes, and then I used the set I have on my Little Jack, on which I have the most amount of attack and mastery here on my other heroes. I switched my gear all the time in order to push the faction. This is how I managed to get AhkTaar exclusive 3, and this is mandatory. So you have to focus on your best team, the team with which you farm the higher in dungeons, and switch the gear to your faction teams just to push higher in this content. So let's begin with the first one. It's the Dragon Tribe faction here. As you can see, yeah, I have a lot of experience because I acquired AhkTaar exclusive 3, and I finished 3 different factions, and I'm pretty advanced in other factions too. So let's begin with the Dragon Tribe here. In order to clear the Dragon Tribe, this is the heroes you are gonna need, and of course you are gonna need exclusives on both Nicholas and Pauline. Without exclusive 3 on Pauline, I had him exclusive 1, and without that I was stuck on stage 28. Maybe I was able to do that, but then it's gonna depend on the speed you have on your Pauline. If you don't have exclusive 3 Pauline, it's gonna be really hard. Otherwise, over time, if you can acquire some mythic gear with a lot of speed on your heroes, maybe it's gonna be easier. But without Pauline exclusive 3, it is gonna be really hard to beat. So this is the team I recommend to use. Wim is an epic hero, okay? If you don't have one of them, you can replace them by by Sinov. She's gonna be really interesting. She provides more heals to your team, more shield, speed down on the boss, speed up on your heroes. She is pretty nice for that. And in fact, maybe she could replace your Wim in that team, and it could be maybe easier to beat the boss with that because of the speed manipulation and the turn meter increase on your heroes. This is really important if you don't have Nicholas, to use Sinov to manipulate the speed of the boss during the fight. Really important. If you don't have the limited heroes, you can use a Nazil on waves to freeze them, and you can use Nazil also to protect one of your DPS when you are facing the boss and heal that DPS. It's still gonna work. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna work. But probably if you don't have any exclusive hero, don't expect to reach higher than 26, okay? 26 is not that hard to beat, in fact, and sometimes it's easier to beat than the 25. Okay, that's all for that faction. If you have a look to the gallery, we are going to have a look to the different heroes. You can use a Huff, but if you have a Huff in your team, probably you won't be able to beat stages 25 and above. He is an interesting hero, providing 2 HP burnings. It's going to be really nice for the waves, but against the boss, probably he won't do the job. You have the resistance down, who can help if you want to increase the mastery of your other heroes. It's going to help you to put your HP burnings on the boss with Hezonja or Melia. So Hof can be interesting, but not the best solution. Melia has a crazy amount of mastery, a crazy amount of dot damage thanks to her exclusives, and yeah, of course you are gonna need exclusives. Exclusive 1 on Hezonja, mandatory to trigger the HP burnings, and on Melia, the more you have, the better. And technically, if you can get the exclusive level 3 here, you are gonna have more HP burning damage. And on Hezonja, really important to have the second one. So you are also gonna have 15% more HP burning damage on his skills. So other heroes are not useful here. Okay, don't expect to beat the boss with some direct damage here or with the bleeds of Natalie. It's not gonna work. So, second faction here, we are going to talk about the Sword Harbor Guards. Because here you can push the content really fast if you have one specific unit, and it's going to be Sigmund. This is the best hero to have in here. If you have only these two units, depending on the stats of your heroes and the exclusive level, you can probably farm the stage up to 23 with only these two units. So this is the easiest faction to progress through early game if you have these two units here. Otherwise, then this is the heroes I used in order to beat the content. I used that, and I had Donald Rebelli before, but I regressed him because today I'm using O'Grady's. If you are using that, it's gonna work really well. If you don't have Donald Rebelli, don't worry, because you can replace him by Barry. He's gonna do an insane amount of damage on waves and a lot of damage against the boss. You have Rister, a really interesting unit. He can increase the attack and the crit damage of your highest attacker in your team and make him pursue the target with the basic attack, and so he is really nice thanks to that, and mandatory if you want to push the content higher. But you are gonna need crazy stats and auras if you want to push above stage 28, because even with all the stats I have and the full sanctuary on my account, wasn't able to beat the stage 28 with 3 stars, and I can't pass the stage 29 for now. But if you have a look, this is some Krakens, but with great stuff on their heroes, and they manage to beat the stage 30. They probably have some Combat Vanguard and Skill Master auras and Shield Smash on the heroes. And so this is how they manage to beat the stage here. 72 turns, that means their damage are insane. So if you have a look to the other heroes, you can replace Rister. If you don't have Rister, you can build your Verto and use Verto instead of Rister. He is gonna still be interesting, increasing the attack of your Barry or of your Donald, and also he's gonna lower the turn meta of the boss and the crit rate of the boss, and so it's gonna help you a lot and increase your effect hit, so it's gonna be easier to place your burns on the boss, and you are gonna have more damage thanks to that. Next to that, if you don't have a Barry or Donald, maybe you can use a Luz. It's gonna take more time to kill the boss, but still the damage are gonna be interesting, especially if you have some exclusives on him, because he is scaling over the max HP of the boss, but he has a limitation over his attack, and so it can work, but it's clearly not the most optimal thing you can use if you want to push higher in levels. Ben Austin is mandatory for the pursuit, of course. Catherine mandatory. This is the only great support you have in the faction, and Sigmund is the best damage dealer for the faction. The HP burning damage, if you increase his mastery and HP, he's gonna deal an insane amount of damage. Okay, for that faction. Now let's talk about the third one, the Sunset Sages here. As you can see, I was able to push through the stage 28 with 3 stars. And if we have a look to the team I used, this is this one. I used that team, okay? Ruin, you can acquire him for free over time with the event shop. He costs a lot, but once you have all exclusives on him, he's gonna be really interesting. He's gonna put a Feebleness 2 on the boss, increasing the damage he's gonna take by 40%. He is also gonna reduce a lot the turn meta of the boss with 2 skills, and this is really strong. Trust me, if you have the speed reduction from Guhana on the boss and also the turn meta reduction from that hero, you are gonna be way safer during your run. Walter is mandatory here because the poison damage are the only source of damage you can have in this faction, Abyss. Nitaf, of course, is the best hero to have. If you don't have Ruin here, you can replace her by Kultum. It's still gonna work. You are not gonna have the same turn meta manipulation, but you are gonna have more heals, more shield, attack down on the boss, and so it can help a lot. Elbeck is mandatory because he can protect your heroes. If you have the first exclusive, he is gonna be really interesting. Applying an ally protection to your entire team, tanking some damage from them, and also applying to himself an immortal, so he won't be able to die. Really strong. Guhana to heal, reduce the direct damage you are gonna take. Walter to increase your poison damage and lower the damage you are gonna take from enemies under poison status. So yeah, this is a great team, and with that I was able to get 3 stars on the stage 28. I was close to get the 3 stars using Kultum instead of Ruins, so if you have them, it's gonna be interesting. Let's have a look to all the heroes here. Yeah, and I forgot to talk about all the heroes in here, but the others are not great, so don't worry, you don't need to use other heroes. On the Sunset stages, you have Slugdo. He's not doing a crazy amount of damage, so he's gonna be useless. Same comment for Horus, and Senna is even worse. And the others are not a great help, so this is the only team you can use. Even Alahan is gonna heal you a lot, but after that he's not gonna provide anything to your team, so he is a useless hero. You can maybe use Hertha instead of Walter, but Walter is also great because he reduces the damage you are going to take from the boss thanks to the poisons and his exclusives. It's the first one. Reduces the direct damage dealt by any target under poison status by 20%. If you have the first one, then you are going to be more tanky with your team. This is a great one to have. Okay, for that faction, other heroes are not that great. So if you have a look to the next one, the Foresters, here I was able to reach the stage 25 because I was missing one great hero, and today I was lucky enough to get him on my last pools. It was outside of the video. I decided to summon a bit more, and so I finally got Teru. And so this is the team I used to reach this stage. But I wasn't able to clear this one because I was missing some defensive stuff on my heroes. And now Teru is going to help me a lot, but I need the exclusive one in order to provide the consolidation 2 to my heroes. I used Ogradis. Yeah, she is clearly not obtainable easily, but if you don't have Ogradis, you can use another poison hero. You have Melissa. She's going to be great paired to Veronica. You are going to have more poisons on the boss. She's going to deal a lot of the poison damage, and also she can trigger the poisons. So if you have both of these heroes, it's going to be great against the boss. You don't need to use Ogradis, in fact. I would love to build her and try that team in order to show that to you in a future video. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below. So this is the team I used here, and if you have a look to the guides here, maybe they are not using Ogradis everywhere. Okay, as you can see here, there is no Ogradis. 160 turns, and there is a Taff inside, but this is a bad idea to use Tifia because the damage coming from Tifia are gonna be really bad, so I don't recommend to use her. Instead of Taff, it would be way better to use a Teru because this is the only consolidation you can have in your team. Gru is an insane hero for this kind of content because with the ally protection and his huge amount of HP, he is gonna tank a lot for your heroes. Also, Fornell is mandatory here. He's gonna lower the attack of the boss, lower the speed of the boss, provide some extra shields to your heroes, and heal your heroes. Really nice. Teru, consolidation 2, more shields and more heals. And Veronica to deal the maximum amount of damage. Poison damage, she is insane in that direction. She is great for that. Yeah, if you have Taff, you can use Taff paired with her because okay, he's not gonna deal a lot of damage, but with one skill, if you have the exclusive one, he can refresh the duration of poisons on the boss, and so it can help a lot if you use him with her. Okay, for that, if you have a look to the Foresters here, if you don't have Fornell, if you have Will, you can use Will. He's gonna provide the attack down on the boss and a defense buff on your heroes, so he can help. Then the other heroes, I wouldn't recommend to use them. Maybe that one, he can help to provide the attack buff on your heroes, the defense buff. He is interesting. He can also lower the attack of enemies. He is an interesting hero to use, but he is really recent, so probably nobody have him today, but remember that he can help a lot. Having both the attack buff and the defense buff makes that hero a great hero for the faction. Attack buff is gonna help you a lot because this is the only hero in the faction outside of Luna who can apply an attack buff on your heroes. Okay, for that faction, next one we have the Doom Legion faction, and that faction you are gonna also require need a limited hero, and this is Little Jack. This is the team I used here. Okay, Liz is mandatory because you don't have any great support in this faction, so this is almost the only shielder with Ayla here. You need Ayla to increase the HP of your heroes and provoke enemies, provide a shield. This is a great hero to have. The only two great supports are here, Ayla and Liz. Then you have Focus. Of course, he is a great hero. He's gonna lower the attack by 20% of the boss. He's gonna reduce the cooldown of the skills on your the hero of your choice. If you are running in auto, he's gonna focus the hero with the maximum amount of attack in your team. Then you have Andras, of course. He is gonna deal an insane amount of burn damage, but you need to use him with another burner hero. You can use Hawkmin instead of Little Jack if you don't have Little Jack, but good luck to survive against the boss. We clearly need other supports in this faction. You can use a Gunner also, but yeah, if you have Little Jack, this is the only way to progress high through this faction, because he's also gonna provide an attack down 40% on the boss with a unique debuff, so it can stack with the attack down given by Focus, and this is one of the best team in the game. But you are lacking some defense stuff on your heroes. You have no consolidation, you have only an attack down 20%, another 40% attack down, so yeah, you are not really tanky in here, but it's pretty strong as a team. So if you have a look to other heroes in this faction, others are not that great. You have some direct damage, but it's not working correctly here. And in terms of heroes here, early game you can use Luff in order to provide some HP burnings to enemies, or maybe Creon to replace some damage dealers in your team, but don't expect to push really high in the faction Abyss with them. You won't be able to reach the level 25 and above with some HP burnings if you don't have the right team. Let's check if someone beat this content. Here you don't have any Ayla, okay? You have more damage, 76 turns, but probably that guy has crazy auras on the heroes, trust me. Here, yeah, this is the team you want to use. Everybody is using that normally because this is the only way to progress through this content. Otherwise you need crazy stuff and crazy auras, and as you can see, nobody beat the stage 29 yet. Next one, the Holy Light Parliament, and on this faction you have a great mythic hero. As you can see, I was able to beat the stage 30, and this is the team I used. I used Eosdin, her Grace, and that hero. You have many supports in this faction, and so if you are lacking one, don't worry because you have many solutions. But Nordak is gonna be mandatory here. Thanks to the rework we had recently, he is the best mythic hero and one of the best hero in the game, clearly and by far. He can provide a damage unity during 2 turns on your heroes, and a block debuff, so you won't get the stun of the boss, and you are gonna be safe. You are gonna take no damage at all. But you are gonna need to use Elena and with the first exclusive in order to lower the speed of the boss. This is the only hero with a speed reduction in that faction, okay? So it's really important to use her, otherwise the boss is gonna take too many turns and you won't be able to tank. Then I used Elena. She is insane in here because she can refresh the duration of bleeds every time she attacks the boss, which is really strong. But the bleed damage are not gonna deal that much damage. In fact, she has nothing to increase her bleed damage, so don't expect to kill the boss really fast with that. But if you pair her with other damage dealers, and for example you have Grace to enhance the bleed damage and to deal more damage and protect your team, then it's gonna be better. But it's still not enough, and so I had to use an HP burning hero, Eosdin here, to deal more damage to the boss. So this is the team I used. If you have a look to to the teams used. As you can see, you can find the same team everywhere. This is the only way to beat this boss. Okay, you have an Elsa here, and this is that was my second account, so I gave that account to Krusty here. But yeah, that was the team I used, but I have way more stats, full sanctuary, etc., and so it was way easier to beat that. If you have a look here to the faction, you have all the solutions, as I was saying. You have Elsa to provide extra shields to your heroes and heals. If you have the exclusive 2, she's also going to provide the consolidation 2 on the 2 first turns. So she is interesting. You have also Anton. Anton is great, providing a consolidation 1, extra shield, stun meter increase, dot cleans, and pretty insane for that. Stun meter increase also. You have also that guy, Kato. He can increase the shield effect of your entire team and the healed effect and increase your effect resistance, stun waves. He can shield your heroes and heal them. He is a great epic hero to use in here. You have also Maya. She provides a consolidation too, and she heals a lot your heroes, so she is a great choice. And then it's pretty you can maybe use her if you want to increase your direct damage and crit damage, etc., but this is not a great choice. I would go with only bleeds and HP burnings, and then some support to provide some extra shield, etc. So, next faction, we have the Forgotten. In this faction, you are gonna find AhkTaar, great pick here. The only attack buff 40% you are gonna have in the faction, and then you have some bleeders in the faction. You have Hizaro. He's gonna be a great bleeder, especially if you have the third exclusive. He's gonna increase the bleed damage taken by the boss, which is pretty strong, and he's gonna provide a lot of bleed damage too. You have Chardonnel. He is the best hero to have in here thanks to the speed buff 40% he gives with the first exclusive. Also, he can reduce the attack of the boss by 40% if you have the third exclusive, so he is the best support to have in here. Then you have Tuck. Tuck provides a good shield, and he increases the HP of your team by 25%, and he can help to freeze the waves, so pretty interesting too. Then you have Esther. Of course, you have Esther. She's gonna revive your heroes. She's gonna increase the damage of one of your hero. She's gonna provide many things, and she's gonna heal if you have the exclusive 3. But if you don't have her, this is the team I used. And if you have a look to the cleanup references, okay, you have Esther in many teams here. But if you have a look to I don't think we can see the team I used, but in order to clear the stage 26, I didn't have Esther exclusive 3, and so I used that team here. The Chanel is gonna heal you a lot and increase your turn meter, so she can help a lot in this content. We are gonna have a look to the entire heroes you have in the team. Of course, you are gonna have Valentina soon, so she's gonna be the best damage dealer in this faction after that, once she's gonna be released. But nobody is gonna have her, or only Kraken, so it doesn't really matter to talk about her. You have Alicia. She's gonna be interesting because when she dies, she is in the second form here, and she can revive by herself, and she deals a lot of bleed damage, so she can be interesting. But I don't think she provides more damage than Hizaro. I think Hizaro is better than her. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below. If you want to lower the speed of the boss, you have Gramdy, but he can provide only a speed down 20%. Every time the boss is going to attack him, he's going to provide that. He's going to deal a nice amount of direct damage because he is scaling over the target's max HP using the basic attack, so he can be interesting, and he can freeze waves. But outside of that, he's not going to be that great. If you don't have Chardonnel, if you have May, you can use her in order to lower the attack of enemies by 40%. It can help a lot, but don't expect her to deal a lot of damage on enemies. Then you have Thanatos if you want to deal a lot of direct damage, but I doubt this is gonna be great. Maybe, I'm pretty sure that the bleeds are way better than him, but the rework was recent, so I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. Tell me if you are using him in the comment below. I'm curious to see. And here you have also Rumble. If you want to lower the speed of the boss by 20%, it can help also to freeze waves. So if you want to be safer, you can use him. You have also Yar, who can normally, where is it? He can shield your heroes. He can apply the effect resistance too. It can help, the shield can help, but he's not gonna be that great after that. And I don't think this new hero, okay, you can have a consolidation 1 and tenacity up 30%, so this one, it can be interesting. And you have also a defense increase on your heroes, so he is another great hero to have for the faction. So in fact, if you want, you know what, we are gonna have a look to the faction here, Forgottens. You are gonna need some Chardonnay to have the speed up 40% and the attack down 40% on the boss. Then you are gonna want to use that hero to have the consolidation 1 and extra shield and the defense buff. Also, he is gonna be great. You have then maybe AhkTaar to deal some damage and increase your damage. You can use that hero, and you can use Stuck, and with that you are gonna lack some heals. But if you play a hero, one of the supports, with some healing effects, maybe it's gonna work, okay? Or maybe you can use that and use only this hero, probably it's gonna work. So this is the kind of team you can use in here, and probably it's gonna be great. But these two heroes are the best supports to have. Then on the next faction we have the Eternal Sect, and here it's gonna be more complicated. Here you have Agatha, but you need to unlock her. She is gonna be the best damage dealer you can have in this faction. You have also Quinlan. Quinlan is great to control waves, but once against the boss, he's gonna provide a few amount of HP burnings on the boss, and so you are gonna lack some damage. You can use a Vedar. He's gonna provide a consolidation 1 to your heroes and a shield, and so he's interesting to play, to use him. You have Mamuk. Of course, this is the best hero to use in here, lowering the attack of the boss by 40%, increasing your speed by 40% on all your heroes, and providing shields, extra shields, and heal your heroes. But you're gonna need exclusives in order to get some heals on your heroes. You can use Turf in order to apply some poisons to the boss, lower his damage and deal some. You can use her if you need the speed buff 40% and the attack buff 40% here, thanks to the third exclusive. Also, she can revive one of your hero if he dies during the wave, only one time. You can use the Sindo if you want to control the turn meta of the boss. It can help a lot and freeze enemies. You have some solutions, but it's still pretty weak. If you don't have Agatha, maybe you can use this kind of team. You are gonna take a lot of turns to kill the boss, but it can still work. If you have a look to the entire faction, the Eternal Sect here, you don't have many great damage dealers. In fact, Madalena is gonna be useless. Dario, useless. Lamb is useless. Carry 2. And that guy too, carry 2, yeah, this is hard to deal some damage in this faction, right? So this is the only heroes I recommend to use in here. This is the hardest faction in my opinion after the Doom Legion, because we are lacking good support in the Doom Legion. Then you have the Nameless Brotherhood, and here you have many heroes to use. You have Lucia. This is the best damage dealer in this faction, but you have also another great hero today. I don't have her, so I can't show her to you directly in here. But you have Anhijin, great HP burning hero and probably the best damage dealer to have in this faction. If you don't have her, don't expect to push the content really high. I'm using Lucia, but this is the only direct damage dealer I have in this faction, and so I was able to get 3 stars on the stage 27 because I have a lot of supports. You have Timmy, who is great. After the rework today, he can provide many things to your team. Crit rate reduction to your team, shields to your team, speed down on the boss, crit damage down on the boss, attack down on the boss, crit rate down. He is an insane hero for that. You have also Ina. She can be really useful. She can provide a shield to your hero, then consolidation 2, which is pretty useful. Feebleness 2 also, but it's not gonna work on the boss because you have to reduce the cooldown of the boss, but it's not working on bosses, so you can't apply the feebleness 2, sadly. you have Magdi. He has a unique consolidation with 3 turns of duration. He is a great hero to have in here. The best hero to provide the consolidation, and he provides a big shield to your heroes, so it helps a lot. You have also, if you don't have Timmy, you can use a Freak instead. He can apply a shield on your heroes, a taunt, it can help a lot. He can heal your heroes. He can apply a crit rate down and attack down on the boss, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's a crit damage down. Let me check that. Crit damage down, attack down. Okay, so pretty strong. And then you can use also Dustin here. He's going to provide an extra shield, lower the effect hit of enemies, heal your heroes. This is a great hero to use. So let's talk about the faction in detail here. You have Girina. She's going to be interesting to revive your heroes and apply the immortal, but after that she's not going to heal really great well your heroes, so don't use her. Other damage dealers are not great in this faction. You can use Popper, because if you have the exclusive 3, you are going to reduce a lot the turn meter of the enemy, and you are also going to provide the defense down 60% and tenacity down 60%, resistance down also, and he's going to deal some damage. And probably if you are using him with a Lucia, you are going to increase the damage you are going to do on the boss, so maybe it's a good idea. But other direct damage dealers are not great in here, and you don't have other great support here. Next faction, we are gonna have the Wizard's Eye, and in this faction you have many great heroes. This is the team I'm using. I was able to beat the stage 30 using that team. I used Melchior instead of that guy, but it's harder with Melchior to deal with waves, or otherwise you are gonna deal crazy damage on him. But if you have Nidrold, then he's gonna be the best hero to use. If you don't have Lydia, you can replace her by that hero. She's gonna provide more heals to your heroes, increase your turn meter a lot, and so you are gonna be safer. If you don't have Eden, you can use Weasley instead. She's gonna provide the attack down 40% to the boss, but it's a bit redundant if you have already HAL 9000. HAL 9000 and Elite are gonna be great in here. HAL 9000 better than Elite, because with the ally protection, you are going to take way less damage on your heroes if you have the 3rd exclusive, and also he's going to be really tanky and lower a lot the damage inflicted by the boss, because he provides attack down 40% and crit damage down 40% on the boss, which is really strong. 50% I think. Sorry, let me check one more time. Crit rate down 40%, 50%, sorry, and attack down 40%. Thanks to that, you're going to be super tanky with your heroes. If you don't have a Nidroll, you can replace him by Lysander. Lysander is going to deal more damage than Nidroll, so it's even better. If you don't have them, you can use Melchior, but I don't encourage you to pick Melchior as a mythic hero. You have better solutions. If you are more early, you can replace some heroes in here, but I don't recommend to replace your Elic here. You're gonna need at least the first exclusive on Elic to provide the block debuff on your heroes, really important for the second wave. Otherwise, you are gonna take some detonation damage and you are gonna die with your entire team. You have other heroes, but they are not that great. In fact, they could, but they are not, because they are lacking some other heroes to pair with them. You have Melot, can reduce the resistance of enemies and deal some poison damage, but you have no other poisoner here, so she is useless. You have Anna, you can use Anna here with maybe Lysander or Nidroll. You are gonna have more attack and so deal more damage and clear waves faster using her. But the best hero to have, of course, it's the limited hero Lydia, because she's gonna provide a permanent consolidation to your team, lower the resistance of the boss, lower his effect hit, increase the damage of your heroes, and lower the cooldown of your heroes. So this is the best team to use. And space, of course, so you are going to play before the boss, you are going to increase a lot the meta of your heroes, heal a lot, reduce the speed of the boss, increase your own speed. So of course she is mandatory here. If we have a look to the faction, do we have other heroes? No, you have no other hero to use. The only heroes were the heroes I was talking about. And finally, you have the Hidden Wave. So, in the Hidden Wave, the best damage dealer, of course, this is gonna be Makin. It's an epic hero, and especially if you have the new hero, the mythic hero Nereid, if you have Nereid here, and I'm gonna get her soon. I'm just waiting for the conversion stone in order to get her with 3 exclusives directly. Then if you have her, you are gonna deal way more damage because she can enter the Way of Ocean status directly. She can increase the dot damage inflicted by your heroes by a lot thanks to her passive. And if you have a look to Makin here, Makin is gonna have way more damage here when it's not written here on the second passive. If one ally enters the Way of Ocean status, he's also going to enter this status, and his bleed damage are going to be increased by 150% of the original bleed damage dealt. So if you are using Nereid with Makin, then he's going to be an insane damage dealer. He's going to deal crazy amount of damage on the boss. Then you want to use Morville, of course, to provide the consolidation too and reduce the cooldown of your heroes. Then you want to use Olivia to increase the speed of your heroes. If you have a look, I don't remember exactly. I'm planning to use her though. You can increase the speed by 20% of your entire team, increase the turn meta, and thanks to that she's really nice. She can increase the defense of all your heroes by 60%, provide an ally protection on the weakest ally in your team, and this ally is gonna take less damage, and put an attack down 20% on the boss. So she is a great hero to use. Then you have Seth. Repel 2, so he's gonna increase a lot the damage dealt on the basic attack with your heroes, and so Makin is gonna deal way more damage, providing an attack buff 40%, so Makin is also gonna deal more damage. Or maybe not, no, forget about that, because Makin can provide himself the attack buff on him. But Seth is gonna provide the tenacity 60% to your heroes, extra shields, a lot of heals, so he's gonna be a great hero. So I would put the new mythic hero here instead of Hayley, but if you don't have Hayley, if you don't have the Nereid, you can replace Hayley, use a Hayley instead, or maybe you can use Bull instead, because he's gonna deal a lot of damage, and this team is gonna be great. But you are gonna need to have the exclusive 3 on Bull. If you have a look to the reference here, this is the team people used. And as you can see, there is Makin inside, there is Bull, because you have a lot of damage thanks to that. But here, I would recommend to replace Villette by Olivia to have the speed up on your heroes. This is really important. The only hero who can provide a speed up on your heroes. But you have also other heroes. You have so many supports in this faction, this is insane. You have also either she can provide an ally protection and tank for your heroes, and this is gonna help you a lot, so you can use her if you have her. So that was all for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Tell me what are you using also in the comment below. If you're using something different than what I said, I'm curious to see. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye bye.